All you have is one. One chance after an accident. One decision on who to call. One shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Basement.
Water leaks.
Cracks in the walls.
Had them, have them. What do I do?
Who can I trust?
I'm here to help. This is your Fix-It host, David Nason, with expert advice for my listeners. There's only one company I trust with basements, and that's my friends at Accurate Basement Repair. That's Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You're going to get a free expert evaluation on me. Just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Again, that's Accurate Basement Repair. Check them out at accuratebasementrepair.com.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Tonight, the Bucks and Kuzma cash in Washington.
Inbound pass to Kuzma, catches it, lays it off the window, and good. And the Bucks will have the last laugh.
Our coverage starts at 5:30 on your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
Clock, we have 17 degrees and sunshine today, reaching for a high of 28. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Space heaters, two near flammable materials being blamed for a large apartment fire early this morning on Milwaukee's far northwest side. Battalion Chief Nicholas Trouse says they had to evacuate 3 people from a balcony at Willow Court Apartments, 89th and Lynx.
We had an apartment filled with residents at the time of arrival. Beyond the complexity of fighting a fire, we also had the fact that we were trying to get a bunch of people rescued from that building as well.
Nobody was hurt. Red Cross is helping 7 people who are displaced.
That's 9 ayes. The motion passes.
Milwaukee Public Schools advancing funding needed to return school resource officers to school buildings.
The Board of School Directors approves nearly $800,000 to cover half the cost of re-implementing SROs. This after Milwaukee County Judge David Borowski ordered MPS and the city to split the cost 50-50 and have a plan before February 27th. Board President Marva Herndon reiterating the board's stance on what happens now.
We're ready to accept officers as soon as they are available.
Interim Superintendent Eduardo Galvan says the plan has been forwarded to the city attorney's office. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Governor Tony Evers targets tax cuts for low and middle income families, but actually calls for a net increase in $2.4 billion. The Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reporting this morning, if passed as is, the budget would drain the state's surplus and leave us in a $4 billion deficit by 2029. TMJ4 chief political correspondent Charles Benson says state Republicans will most likely shoot the proposal down.
That's where things get rewritten by Republicans who still have the majority in the Assembly and still have the majority in the Senate. So I think what's going to be interesting is always that battle around what sort of tax cuts will there be, who will get them.
Benson says Republicans are most likely to approve parts of the budget geared toward funding special education. Budget resolution being adopted by the Senate after an all-night voting session. The so-called vote-a-rama began last night at the Capitol, lasted until the early morning hours. The resolution clears the path for Republicans to pass $340 billion in funding, including $175 billion for border spending and immigration enforcement. 2 months before the federal income tax filing deadline, the axe is falling at the Internal Revenue Service. ABC's Jim Ryan says that's adding to a sense of urgency among tax preparers.
A previous hiring freeze coupled with staffing cuts imposed by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, mean that delays in the processing of your paperwork and the issuance of any refund you're owed are almost inevitable. Tax professionals urge their clients to file early and to file electronically instead of by paper return and snail mail.
The Washington Post says President Trump is expected to issue an executive order as soon as this week to fire members of the USPS governing board and place the independent mail agency under the control of the Commerce Department. The White House denies there's an executive order in the works. President Trump will speak at the annual Conservative Political Action Conference in suburban Maryland tomorrow. With the launch of his first presidential bid, the gatherings rallied around Trump, but is largely a MAGA fest with his presidential win to celebrate this year. CBS senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang has a preview.
Last year, he said that it was going to be Judgment Day on Election Day for all the fraudsters, for all the people in the government who, he claimed were not doing what they ought to be. And he said he was a political dissident.
This spring will mark the final graduation ceremony for Northland College in Ashland.
Declining enrollment and soaring costs have led the private environmental liberal arts college to close its doors. Interim President Barb Lundberg tells WTMJ the focus now is supporting students.
Having a transfer and teach-out fair, sessions on completing applications and financial aid.
She hopes the college's 133 years on the shores of Lake Superior will have a lasting legacy on
the students it serves, definitely, but also, an impact on our region and the flavor that you feel when you're up here.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 382 points. The Nasdaq down 33. S&P 500 is off 20. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:05.
It's a super affordable family fish fry Friday at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Do not pay $16 or more for your fish fry. The Mine Chef fish fry is just $7.99, and it's all you can eat. You deserve it. After a long week, relax with a cold beverage and a great fish fry. Kids menu starts at $3.99, and they can safely play in that huge game room quietly tucked aside from the dining area while you finish up, maybe have an after-dinner drink. I repeat, hard to believe, the Mine Chef's all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. The Mine Chef in beautiful downtown Hartford. And near the EAA in Oshkosh, tons of seating, lots of close parking. Reserve now for your Friday, $7.99 all-you-can-eat fish fry, serving from 11 a.m. Get there early. I love that fish fry. Your Saturday steak dinner is under $20. Sunday brunch under $15. What a value. MineChefRestaurant.com.
This week on the Lutheran Hour.
If you believe that you don't need a creator to understand yourself and your place in the world, then you rule out the possibility of knowing your creator. If you don't think you need one, if you don't need God, you won't know God.
Dr. Michael Ziegler this week on the Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks put together a dominant fourth quarter en route to a 116-110 over the LA Clippers from Fiserv. They visit the Wizards tonight in D.C. Bucks forward Bobby Portis suspended for 25 games after testing positive for tramadol, medicine used to treat severe pain. Portis says he took the drug by mistake. He won't be eligible to return until April 8th when the team has just 4 games left. Tonight, number 15 Marquette visits Villanova. Milwaukee also on the road at Youngstown State. Wisconsin back tomorrow. The 11th-ranked Badgers will host Oregon at the Kohl Center. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. Baseball is back. Brewers host the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow afternoon to open up spring play in Arizona. They visit the Rockies Sunday. Opening day set for March 27th. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We have one crash on the freeway system. This is going to be on a ramp from Silver Spring Drive to I-41, US 45 South. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine today, 28 for the high, then clear tonight with lows 12, Lakeside 7, inland, partly cloudy 29 tomorrow, mostly cloudy on Sunday with a slight chance of rain or snow to the north, high Sunday 38, mostly cloudy Monday up to 43, a slight chance for rain in the evening, and then cloudy on Tuesday, high up to 44. 13 in Madison, 9 in Green Bay, 18 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. So let's pour that coffee and talk to some experts about what's going on in Milwaukee, Madison, Washington, and beyond. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. It's the Political Power Hour on WTMJ. Here's your host, Steve Scaffidi.
Should we talk about the government?
Oh, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the origin story, as I like to call it, of the Political Power Hour. Now, Monday through Friday, 9 to 10 here on 620 WTMJ. In studio today is Joseph Pecky. Good morning, Joe.
How you doing?
I'm good. I feel good. Now, the guy that's a little under the weather but still showing up, which I appreciate. That shows the drive,
playing hurt,
the stamina. Maybe that's his hockey background. Bill McCutcheon joining us on the phone. Hi, Bill. Good morning.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, how you feeling? Okay.
I haven't had the flu in several years, but it knocked me out pretty good last night.
Yeah, a lot of people getting the flu. So we hope that you have a quick and easy recovery. But thanks for joining us on the Friday program. All right, let's start with this gentleman. I'm going to have Bill go first because he's remote. There's a quote that was circulating around everywhere last Sunday when all the shows do their weekly politics. A comment that's sort of been attributed to Napoleon over time and other famous people. It's unclear whether Napoleon said it or not, but it's basically the essence of it is that if the leader does it and it's saving the country, it's not violating the law, breaking the law. Bill, explain that to me.
He who saves his country cannot break the law.
I knew you would have the exact quote. Bill, what's he talking about? Come on.
I'm not exactly sure what he's talking about on that. As I've said, every week since January 20th, I think he's off to an unbelievable start, and I think that success will continue for at least the next several months. I'm not sure why he tweeted or posted that particular comment. I mean, the reality is, to get big things done, he's going to have to push them through Congress. There's only so much you can do through executive order, and I've said many times on the show, not a big fan of executive orders, in part because I think they are at least they're close to being on the edge of what executive power is, but they're not sustainable. In other words, they're temporary. As soon as the next administration comes in, they can be reversed, and we've seen that now going multiple administrations bouncing back and forth between, an open border, a closed border, an open border, a closed border. So I'd like to see the Congress get to work. I'm actually encouraged what the Congress has been able to do so far as it relates to appointments. And I've mentioned this on the show before. I've been impressed that John Thune has been able to get his members in the U.S. Senate to push through even the three tough ones, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and Kash Patel. He was able to push those across the finish line, and I think maybe the three of us back in December would have guessed that at least one of them wouldn't have made it, and they all made it. So I think that portends for some good things coming forward. The Senate's actually marking up their budget bill this weekend. It's going to be a marathon session. So far, a slim majority in the House and a slim majority in the Senate has been able to perform. Let's see if they can do it when we get to the reconciliation bill.
All right, Joe. Bill says everything is just fine. What do you say?
Well, the American people appear to disagree based on the last three polls that came out. The bloom is off the rose. I have a theory that I want to try out on Steve and Bill. Bill just mentioned that the three most controversial cabinet nominees got through. That's Hegseth at Defense, Gabbard at National Intelligence, and Kennedy at HHS. My theory is this. Donald Trump didn't think that he was going to get all of them. Even he is surprised by how compliant and spineless the Republican Senate is proving to be. And my proof point for this is that earlier in the week, there was a leak that came out that Trump is now saying he wishes he had stuck with Gates.
I was just going to ask you about that.
And that's not like Pam Bondi is doing what Trump wants done. But I think Trump is even surprised that this cabinet of jokers, particularly those three, like the three least qualified nominees in American history, he thought he was going to lose at least one or two of them, which is probably why they were okay with Gates pulling out. And now he looks at the way that they're just bowing down to everything he does. And he's like, well, why didn't I stick with Gates?
You think Trump is surprised, Bill?
No, I think the answer to that is by pulling Gates or Gates backing out, that enabled these other things to happen. I don't think he would have gotten him through. I think it's a misread by somebody in the White House if they think that they could have stuffed him through. There was no chance of that, in my opinion. And that by Gates withdrawing, it actually provided a little bit of runway to get these other guys through.
Interesting point I'm going to make here is that this is just the appointments now confirmed. Now we will see the actual body of work in the next months ahead. That's really the tell here, what that looks like, what that feels like. And I would caution all this great feeling that, Bill, you have about the Senate, and anybody who thinks everything's just going smoothly, they're going to have something to say about things being cuts from their districts when it comes to basic services, some of the things that our next topic of conversation, Elon Musk, the head of Doge, or Doggy as I like to call it. We're going to get to Musk and all things related to that little magician after this on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here. Hang out with me Saturdays at 1 o'clock. It's the Experience Wisconsin show. We go from north to south, from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, introducing you to some of the cool places, events, and people that make Wisconsin so super special. This week, a show that I'm really excited about. It is the Greater Milwaukee Automobile Dealers Association show, the Milwaukee Auto Show. We'll talk to an expert from the auto show. They'll tell you what's going on, the new cars, and a whole lot more. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays on WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Somebody asked me the other day, you've lost some weight? I go, yes, I have. And the reason I'm losing weight, and it's part of my journey, is I'm working with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Already lost 29 pounds as of this morning. It's a secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat per day. Their doctors have developed easy-to-follow weight loss program. Trust me, I can do it. You lose weight fast, naturally, safely, no drugs, no injections, no serious side effects, no pre-packaged meals, bars, shakes. If you want to exercise, you can exercise, but no exercising is required. It helps reset your metabolism. That's the cool thing. I will be doing this for the next year as part of this program. You can keep the weight off for good. That's what matters. They have a coach for your ongoing support. Their program, get this, costs up to half as much and works twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation. Most patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. If you have a big event, wedding, maybe a trip, look at me. I'm a success story right here. You can be as well. Watch your body lose a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling, I'll go slow, 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Just like most cars and trucks can't run without oil, no person can function without food. That's why through March 1st, the Auto Dealers of Metro Milwaukee is contributing $1 from every oil change to Feeding America, Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has provided more than 2.6 million meals to people in southeast Wisconsin. And now the need is greater than ever. Find a participating Adam dealer near you at adamm.com.
Joseph Pecky, Bill McCosh, and Joe's in studio. Bill's on the phone, and Joe was just asking about. I was on vacation last week, and I saw some of the show, and the poems that you threw at each other were actually brilliant radio. I love that stuff.
Well, I wrote my own. Bill had to plagiarize.
He stole
from somebody else.
He stole his. All right,
I did.
Let's talk about Elon Musk. As you know, Bill, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I think he's a charlatan. I think he's obviously the richest guy in the world. And, you know, you have to give him credit for that, accumulating that kind of massive wealth, now almost $500 billion. And I looked back in, I think it was 2002, he was only worth $2 billion. So that's quite a run-up in those years. Most of us would be very happy with that kind of acceleration of income and riches. But I don't trust him. Now, let me give you a couple baseline reasons why. One, he puts out, I don't know if he put it out or someone put it out in his group, in his little tech bro group, that showed the savings by agency, and there was already an accounting error in it. I get that you can make mistakes, but that's sort of a big deal when your whole point is to talk about how much money you're saving the government. Also now floating, this is number 2, this idea that we're going to take the savings and just throw them in sort of rebate checks to the taxpayers. Last time I checked, you do that, you really haven't done anything significant. You're just neutralizing whatever you just accomplished. Bill, what the hell's going on here?
So I'm not in favor of the checks. I think we ought to pay down debt. I think we ought to balance our budget. If you're going to find billions, maybe even $1 trillion in savings through efficiencies in government, let's get the government's fiscal house in order. That should be job number one. And I think this tax package that's likely coming in March or April will give people long-term sustainable benefits. So I don't think we need $5,000 checks. In fact, that might actually increase inflation. We saw that before when the government kicked out $1,400 checks 5 years ago. So I'm not a fan of that. But I would say this. I think they're doing a pretty good job of highlighting wasteful spending. We'll see if any of it ends up being fraudulent. It may or may not. But the tough part actually is the Congress, and you mentioned this earlier, Steve. They have to memorialize these in the law, and otherwise, these are temporary changes, right? The president can't eliminate full agencies. He can't cut X number of staff permanently. Those things have to go in the law, and that's when it gets tough when lawmakers have to decide, can I take this vote or not? I would argue Trump is building a runway for these guys to make it easy to get to yes, but we'll see how it plays out over the next couple of months, because anything the Congress does has the potential to be political or partisan in their reelection race in 2026.
A growing number of congressional Republicans are desperately trying to backchannel with White House officials as DOJ ramps up its slash-and-burn firings of federal workers, Politico reports. GOP lawmakers unleashed a frantic flurry of calls and texts after federal agencies undertook the latest firings this past weekend, with Republicans particularly worried about cuts affecting public safety and health roles. Republicans in Congress are already feeling the heat on this. We've got deep red district members of Congress not having answers at their town halls, getting booed when they can't answer these questions. This is too much. This is not what even a good number of Republicans voted for. They're not measuring twice and cutting once. They're taking that chainsaw that Elon Musk, probably chemically enhanced in some way, was wielding on that stage. And people are getting hurt. And the politics of that are going to come home to roost. Maybe not this week, maybe not next month, but this is not a sustainable way to practice what they're trying to call good government.
Bill and Joe, and Bill, you can respond first. I'm going to get to a question here in a second, but the general question for me is, can you treat government like business? And this question sort of applies to that. Does it appear as if DOJ is indiscriminately, impulsively cutting federal workers and services as if our government were a privately held corporation where only the bottom line matters versus an entity that's supposed to serve the people first and foremost? I say that for a reason, because when you make indiscriminate cuts without real, what I think is analysis of who's effective, who's not effective, and you do it like willy-nilly, really quick, I get the idea. I'm a small government guy. I don't want to see the government be top-heavy and bloated. But I also want them to look at all these positions, all these agencies, with a critical, sharp analysis that says these people are really not serving our interests. Bill, is there a problem making that sort of public-private comparison when it comes to big government?
Yeah, they're not the same. I mean, that's the reality of it. I spoke at the Wisconsin Policy Forum a couple of weeks ago. I was on a forum with Corey Nettles, and I said, this is sort of like a hostile takeover in a business situation where Trump came in as he took over the board, and he brought in a bunch of disruptors. And I would argue the public actually voted for that. How this all plays out is it's going to be bumpy, right? There's a lot of it people like me like. We like the fact that there's actually some action. It feels like Donald Trump is actually restoring a spine into Republicans on fiscal conservatism that hasn't been there since Ronald Reagan was in the White House. So I like that part. Will there be some mistakes along the way going this fast? Yeah, I'm sure there will be. And that's what they have to guard against, is making sure that they do this in a thoughtful manner. I've said on the show before, I mean, when I dropped my son off down in West Palm Beach back the first weekend in August, they had already started the transition. So there's a plan, and they are executing on that plan. And it's been in place or in development for probably more than a year, maybe for 4 years. So they knew what they wanted to do. So my hope is that they actually did some analysis on some of these things ahead of time. But now that you got most of the cabinet confirmed, that's their job, to make sure that they're cutting staff that you can afford to cut within the agency, leaving what's critical to the mission of government, and trying not to go too far.
Two things can be true at the same time, but sometimes they can't. You can't say that they thought this through for 1 to 4 years and that there might be mistakes like, accidentally firing the hundreds of workers who oversee our nation's nuclear warheads, of accidentally firing the people who are monitoring bird flu and trying to make sure we don't have another pandemic in this country. if there was a plan by certain people in Mar-a-Lago for a transition, the fact that Elon Musk got empowered to do all this, there's no way he and his kids looked at the plan, because you do not fire the people whose job it is to assemble and maintain the safety of our nuclear warheads. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that appears to be a mistake. I think that's been corrected at this point in time, but this is just the beginning. There's a lot more to come. How it plays out, again, Congress is going to have a role in this, and you're going to start to see that over the weekend, at least in the Senate, when they do their markup on their budget resolution. And then we'll see what Mike Johnson can get through. Remember, he's got a 1-seat majority until April 1st, and then he'll get a 3-seat majority. So it's not like there's a lot of wiggle room.
Bill McCosh and Joseph Pecky, the Friday edition of the Political Power Hour, 620 WTMJ. After the break, quick look at Wisconsin. Governor had a budget address, and we've got a race for the Department of Public Instruction superintendent. All that after this.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget, you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi, and one of the things I love to do on this program and all the time, even when I'm not on the show, is talk about Heiser Automotive. They are a great local car company, and beyond that, trucks and service and all the great programs. I wanted to drive a pre-owned. I try to do this once or twice a year. A pre-owned vehicle, low mileage, just to see what that experience is like right now driving a 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT. Perfect vehicle for our weather. It's a beautiful glacier blue. I can find it in a parking lot in a second. Love this thing. Automatic transmission, 8-speed, low mileage, great gas mileage, 24 city, 29 highway, great towing capacity, payloads there, all the things you need in a truck. I was a Ford F-150 guy, just got rid of one, and now I have a Chevy Silverado. Love, love, love this truck. You will too, and you can buy it right out from underneath me. Go to Heiser.com for all their new and pre-owned vehicles. Don't forget their great programs. If you need a service appointment or any of those things, body shop work, they are ready to handle all of your vehicle needs. Heiser Automotive, that's why they can say every day, love this. Today's your day.
I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. Taxes in retirement could take a bigger bite out of your savings than ever before. With a rising tax environment, many retirees are worried about running out of money. At Drake & Associates, we understand those fears, and we're here to help you feel more confident about your retirement. That's why we're offering a free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, to help you take control of your financial future. Don't let rising taxes catch you off guard. Text TAX to 414-897-9522 to claim your free resources. That's TAX to 414-897-9522.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, look, he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
it's not worth 8 cents.
It was essentially to buy freedom of expression.
That's the great Elon Musk. And that's not edited. That's just him.
Doesn't sound much like a genius to me.
He may be a genius in some things, but he's also an idiot in several other. All right, real quick, let's quickly address the governor's budget address. Joe?
Tony the tax cutter.
Sort of.
Oh, man.
This is a pro-kid, pro-family, pro-farmer budget that makes sure there's still more than $600 million sitting in the state's checkbook at the end of it. Now, as Bill knows, Tony Evers understood that Republicans weren't going to operate off of what he proposed. They're going to go back to base, as it's called. They're going to write their own budget. But as an opening salvo and something that he can run for re-election on if he chooses to do so, there's a lot in there that he can really draw a contrast. And one thing I do want to mention, like Bill remembers when Wisconsin was the laboratory of democracy and we tried new things here and modeled them for the country, like welfare reform. Tony Evers' idea in this budget to audit health insurance companies who deny too many claims, no other state does that. That's a great idea that people can get behind. We should do that.
Bill, hold your thoughts after the break because we've got to get to the local news here. And if for all those folks watching the stream, there's a great picture of Bill McCoshen that's up on our...
He was a good-looking young man.
Was that high school hockey? What was that?
No, that was Bantams. I was 14 years old.
Oh, my goodness. What a good-looking young man. And he's still a good-looking young man. How about that, Bill McCoshen? So we'll get to Bill's response about the Governor Tony Evers' budget address. What we got, Rogers love, what we don't want to keep around, and, of course, grab bag. Those are all some of the regular Friday features. You can always weigh in. And Siding Unlimited talking text line, always available. A lot of comments today, things spinning. Local news with Connie Weber. But before we get to any of that, here's the latest now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The suspect accused in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is back in a New York courtroom. ABC's Trevor Alt says it's Luigi Mangione's first appearance since December.
Mangione has garnered a massive wave of popularity, this week issuing his first statement through a website created by his defense team, saying the support has transcended political, racial, and even class divisions. And donations continue to pour into his defense fund, which has now raised more than $500,000.
Sales of previously owned homes slipping last month as mortgages remain high and prices have frozen out many buyers in the market. Consumer confidence also fell nearly 10% month to month in February. Trump tariff plans are the main reason why. A district judge deciding he could not grant a motion from unions to temporarily block President Trump's mass firings of federal workers. He did, however, acknowledge the chaos caused by the blitz of executive actions. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:31. I'm Connie Weber. One person badly hurt trying to escape a burning home in Fond du Lac County overnight. That person jumped from the second floor. Crews say the occupants of the home in the town of Matoman were sleeping when the fire started. Sheriff's officers say an explosion happened after they arrived. 2 other people hurt in the hospital. Not clear what caused that fire. 1 person dead after a shooting overnight on Milwaukee's northwest side. 23-year-old found dead at the scene, 95th and Brown Deer Road. Nobody in custody. Cell phones could be banned in Wisconsin classrooms under a Republican bill making its way through Madison. Bill was passed by the state assembly this week, largely along party lines, with only one representative, Rob Swearingen of Rhinelander, opposed. Under the law, school boards would have to adopt policies to prohibit the use of wireless communication devices during instructional time, with exceptions for the monitoring of medical conditions and for emergency situations. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow down 368 points, 43,808. NASDAQ is down 124 at 19,838. S&P 500 is off 35 points at 6,082. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still cleaning up that crash. This is going to be on the ramp from Silver Spring Drive to I-41 US 45 South. No major delays reported in that area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine today, a high of 28, and clear skies overnight with lows 12, lakeside 7, inland. Partly cloudy and 29 tomorrow. Slight chance of rain or snow to the north on Sunday, mostly cloudy, high 38. Slight chance of Monday evening rain after mostly cloudy skies that day and a high Monday, 43. And then mostly cloudy on Tuesday with a high of 44. It's 13 in Madison, 9 in Green Bay, 18 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:33.
You gotta get to Built Right today. Built Right's President's Day and Randy Kay's birthday sale and $1 million clearance sell-off are extended. This is WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Built Right furniture, leather, and mattresses. If you're looking for affordable, better quality furniture or mattresses, do what my wife and I did. We went to Built Right. We love our new living room furniture, and we loved our shopping experience as well. It's all about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. 4 generations, 97 years strong. 3rd and 4th generation family members are right there in the store working alongside their amazing team. Thousands of items in stock or custom order at a low sale price. USA made, small scale, Ohio Amish made, real solid wood furniture. Over 48 models of PowerLift recliners in stock. 60 models of USA made mattresses. Built Right always saves you money. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday. Closed to be with family. Make sure to tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, just off of 894 at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Rocking through this Friday edition of the Political Power Hour, 61 WTMJ. Steve Scaffidi, Joseph Becky, Bill McCosh. Now, want to give Bill a chance to respond to Governor Tony Evers' budget address Tuesday nights, I believe. Tuesday night in Madison. Bill, all yours.
So there's 3 pieces that are absolute non-starters with Republican lawmakers. Number 1, there's a 20% increase in spending in the governor's budget. Number 2, there's 1,600 new employees. And number 3, it builds a $2.4 billion structural deficit going into the next biennial budget. None of those things are going to happen. There's no chance Republicans will pass any of those. I think this is probably a re-election budget if I had to read it for the governor. He focused on things that are important to him. His choices were do a re-election budget and get himself ready to run for a 3rd term potentially, or a legacy budget, which is taking care of the things that are most important to him and ensuring his legacy long term. I view this a little bit more in the re-election budget. There are a couple things. There's not a lot of new in the budget. Most of these things he's recommended in 3 other budgets, and they've never gone anywhere. The 2 things that are new that I think he has a shot with, 1, the no tax on tips. Clearly, that's a Trump idea, and I think Republicans are going to pass that as part of a budget. And 2, his prison idea. And you've spent some time on this on your show, Steve. The Green Bay Correctional Institute is 130 years old. It is overcapacity. It is an unsafe facility, and he's recommending closing it. And that's important. And I think that's the right answer, and I believe the Republicans will support him on that. And in order to sort of handle that capacity, he's going to grow Waupun. And I know Mayor Ron is probably listening from Waupun. That's a good idea, too. Waupun prides itself on being a prison community. They love it, and I think that's an idea that's in the governor's budget that has a real shot.
Smart points by Bill. I agree with him on both of them.
I hope Bill comes and visits me in Waupun and Cash Patel puts me behind bars.
You behind bars? Really, really, really. Cash Patel. All right, so you want to say something about Ukraine?
Well, we had talked in the text thread, and I just think it's important. Like, facts still matter, and it is not good for America when our president, whoever they are, totally distorts reality and says that Ukraine didn't have to start this war. Ukraine did not start this war. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine has united the world as tanks rolled across a border for the first time since World War II. And if that was the only thing that Trump was getting wrong, you could say, oh, he misspoke or something. But he just fundamentally misunderstands what is happening here. Of the $175 billion in arms that the U.S. has provided to Ukraine, more than 70% of those dollars go to American arms manufacturers in places like Pennsylvania, where they are manufacturing new artillery, because what the U.S. Army is doing is sending old artillery shells to Ukraine, which means the bang for our buck is we're modernizing and upgrading our armaments while acting as an arsenal of democracy as a free country is invaded by Putin's Russia. This is not that hard to understand. We should be on the side of the good guys here, and increasingly it looks like we are not.
Bill, what do you make of the relationship? What do you make of the relationship between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump? I don't understand it. I don't understand why he seems to be so willing to jump in bed with Putin on some of these issues. This is not a hard one. You can argue about the smartness of a country sending billions of dollars to another country that's not anywhere close to us. But I would also argue that we know the historical context. Protecting that part of that part of the world is important. What do you make of that?
I think it's a negotiating tactic to try and end this war. He said on the campaign trail he was going to end the war. Frankly, he said he could end it in 24 hours. Whoops. That was unrealistic at the time. What I would say is, where I really disagree with Joe is on Zelensky. He's no Churchill. This guy is not a freedom fighter. I think he's a corrupt son of a gun.
Based on what, though?
He can't even tell you where $100 billion of American money went. He said that publicly, Joe. There's no idea where that money went. This guy has done nothing to try and end that war. All he says is more, more, more. I'd encourage the listeners, find the interview between Catherine Herridge and Marco Rubio that was filmed yesterday, and listen to Rubio's take on this, where the guy sat in a room with him and the vice president and lied to their face. Lied to their face. I don't think he's a trustworthy guy. I think he's corrupt. And honestly, I'm with Trump trying to end the war so that we're not going to spend more of our hard-earned tax dollars and or potentially put our soldiers in harm's way at some point down the road. I'm not a Putin fan. Listen, but to think Zelensky is somehow a freedom fighter, that's ridiculous.
History will sort out what Zelensky is or isn't, but I don't think any of us should be sitting here today feeling comfortable about a war that ends when Russia becomes more powerful and it gets even closer to the borders of other countries, which we are even more connected to. That's not historically a smart move. Bill McCoshen, Joe Zepecki, after the break, Rogers Love, what do you want to keep? What do you want to get rid of? And then, of course, the grab bag to wind things up. Political Power Hour Friday edition right here at 620 WTMJ.
So how would I describe our people? I'd say the people we set out to hire have to be smart, hardworking, and honest. Honesty being paramount of the three. Because honesty breeds integrity. And when you have integrity, you won't let yourself do anything less than your best. And that's who we're looking for. Character counts here, and integrity matters. And that's why it's easy for us to offer the industry's best lifetime workmanship warranty with every roof we sell. A rock-solid warranty like ours guarantees our reputation and assures your satisfaction. At Semper Fi, we do the right thing. We seize the moral high ground, and we hold it. And when you do that, you end up having a business that's going to last for generations. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advents. You've heard me talk about it. Snoring issues, thing of the past. Tossing and turning, thing of the past. Doesn't happen anymore. My poor wife, Kathy, had to deal with all this. Not anymore. My nose wasn't working properly. I was a snorer, all those things. Very common problems, by the way. I went to Advent 5 years ago. 30-minute visit. We did a really simple sleep study. What it told them is it was my sinuses and nasal passage and my breathing triangle. After a short procedure in office, breathing better than ever. Now, just like last night, sleeping through the whole night, uninterrupted. I'm not kidding you, folks. That is a way that you wake up rested and refreshed, ready to do a radio show. If you struggle like restless nights like I used to, either whether or not you do a radio show or not, you want to feel good when you wake up. Make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com, schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Enjoy the Fox & Hounds restaurant's fabulous all-you-can-eat fish fry. It's one of the best. The magnificent Sunday brunch is also all-you-can-eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Call and reserve foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Now it's time for Love and Rogers on the Political Powerhouse.
Airs it out. Complete.
What makes you wanting more?
We got to find a way to go win.
And what makes you want to tear your hair out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, you never get tired of hearing Aaron Rodgers' voice. Well, yes, you can, I guess. Apparently, that's the lesson we've all learned. In Wisconsin, all right, Joseph Pecky, you start us off. Rodgers, Love, where are you going?
I will Rodgers the cuts to the VA. So Doge came in and fired 1,000 Department of Veterans Affairs employees. The VA, as we all understand, has for years been understaffed and has taken too long for veterans to receive medical care. And the solution, apparently, according to Doge and the Doge bags, is to cut 1,000 more veterans. And most of the people who work at the VA are veterans themselves. Heard some horror stories about Trump voting VA, employees who served with distinction just being unceremoniously dumped. There is a cost to these cuts, and I am just here to apologize to America's veterans that it will take even longer to get your health care.
And if those cuts happen, I will be the first one to talk about it on the air because that's, to me, is inexcusable. That's the last place. I understand there's always excess, and you can probably make a point that every department should be trimmed if you're trying to go cut across the bottom line, but I do not like these cuts. Bill, where are you going?
So Al Rogers, every assembly Democrat who on Wednesday voted against restoring high standards for our kids. AB 1 would have reversed Jill Underley's bad decision to lower standards for our kids. Governor Tony Evers, a Democrat, has said he thought that was a mistake to lower standards. This should have passed 99-0. The fact that it passed 54-44 on a purely partisan vote really says bad things about the politics in Wisconsin right now. We should be able to rally around our kids. They will rise to the expectations we set for them. If you lower those expectations, that's exactly where they'll end up. So I am Rogersing all 44 Democrats who voted against restoring high standards on Wednesday.
What makes you happy this week? What are you loving this week, Bill?
Well, I'm loving the Four Nations hockey tournament with the United States, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. This was a genius idea by the National Hockey League to replace their mid-season all-star game with a Four Nations tournament. It was a round robin. Canada and U.S. ended up playing twice. U.S. beat Canada in Montreal at the famous Bell Center on Saturday night, and last night, sadly, Canada came back and won the championship in overtime at TD Garden in Boston. The hockey was amazing. It's going to help grow the game. I think our friend Brandon Snide might even turn into a hockey fan after all this. It was great for the game of hockey.
Yeah, and let's warn the MLB folks and the other leagues that you got to step up your game.
I thought Trump was going to make America great again. Here we are losing to our 51st state in hockey. Wow.
I actually had a clip from who I call White House Barbie, the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, where she...
Those are your words, not mine.
Yes, where she calls Canada, again, the 51st state. I don't think that's helpful, but I'll let you go to what you love this week.
I love the White House social media account putting out a fake time cover with Donald Trump with a crown on his head saying, "Long live the king." And I love this because it is putting out on Front Street the absurdity of all of this. And let me assure you, the world is laughing at Donald Trump. That if America were to have a king, it would be a makeup-wearing dilettante who, like, this is absurd. And I am at least loving the fact that they're just putting it out on Front Street. And it's maybe they're trying to troll people. I'm just laughing at it. It's absurd.
Word of the day, dilettante from Joe Zepecki. Joe Zepecki, Bill McCoshen will take a quick break here. And then, of course, the all-important grab bag. Who knows what the guys are? I would have thought McCoshen would have kept the hockey for that, but
he's probably got another hockey one for the.
Oh, I got another hockey one coming up.
Least surprising development of the show today. Bill McCoshen, Joseph Pecky, yours truly. One more break. We'll wrap it up after that.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. Whether you're a client of Annex, which I am, help is only a visit or a quick phone call away. No one is the same. Annex understands that. Need some assistance with Social Security strategies? Others are curious about maybe their 401k options? Annex can handle annuity reviews along with pension analysis. It's about you, not the commissions. That's why Annex is a fee-only fiduciary with a team that includes, and I've met all these people, CFPs, CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, wealth strategists, and attorneys. They make decisions every day. We make decisions, sometimes easy stuff like what's for lunch. Then there are the big ones, right? When to take Social Security. What does my tax burden look like? Important, especially important this time of year. Or are my investments overlapping and inefficient? On the way to retirement, there are many decisions to make, and it's easy to miss a few. It's time to talk with Annex Wealth Management to button things up, take action, know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
Shop Steinhaffel's President's Day mattress sale. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable base sets, plus get $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. Queen Tempur-Pedic mattresses start at just $50 per month. Only at Steinhaffel's and steinhaffels.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, since we got most of the politics out of our systems, let's finish up with some grab bags.
Oh, Bill McCoshen, Joseph Pecker. We love this last segment of the program every Friday. Bill McCoshen, start us off. Grab bag. Go.
Okay, grab bag. Tuesday night in Detroit, I went to dinner, Monday night actually, with 4 Canadians, including the Fantilli brothers. Adam Fantilli was the number 3 pick in the NHL draft 2 years ago, plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets. His brother Luca was there. He plays for the Michigan Wolverines. And we got to talking politics, no surprise, especially with the Four Nations tournament. And I would tell you the 4 Canadians love what Trump is doing as it relates to reducing the size of government, both the spending and the employees. What the Canadians didn't like was being called the 51st state. They are prideful people. That's where Trump loses them. So if his long-term plan is to bring along the Canadian people, he's going to have to move beyond that, because that's not working.
Let me ask you a quick question. I usually don't ask questions about the grab bag, but I'm just curious. Why do you think that he's doing this? And he even had his press secretary say it. Why is he doing this?
I think it's a leverage thing. He's trying to negotiate. I'm not sure what exactly he's hoping to get. He believes there's a $200 billion trade deficit with them. So it may start as that, but I don't think it's all that presidential, to be honest with you, and I'm not sure that it's going to lead to the result he wants, because it's offensive to Canadians.
Since Bill never goes to the office, maybe we can find some hockey players from Greenland, and then Bill can just put world peace on his agenda.
Bill will settle it all.
My grab bag is, last night I had the opportunity to go to the new, remodeled, and improved Washington Park Urban Ecology Center. This building is beautiful. It is a wonderful community space. They're already doing all kinds of programming with the kiddos from, I think they said 31 different schools. There are places there that if you need to hold an event for very affordable prices, you can get access to, a hall with all kinds of AV that seats a couple hundred folks. Check out the Washington Park Urban Ecology Center. It's so cool. They even have stuff during the winter. They got all kinds of gear. You can go skating. It's really, really great. Kudos to Marco Squavara and the staff there. It's really, really something. And check it out. You can just go work from there. It's an open community space, no cost for that. And like I said, have your events there.
Every once in a while, I'll throw a grab bag in, and I was surprised by the Bobby Portis story yesterday, a 25-game suspension for using a painkiller that wasn't on the authorized or approved list. Bill, I'll ask both of you. What do you make of that story? It seems like we should know better. And in a season that we're challenged with injuries and trades for the Bucs and a sort of a new cast of characters, it seems like a very unsettling story about a team that may be on the downside of their championship run. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. The reality is they have multiple team doctors for the Bucs, so I'm not sure I buy the Bobby Portis that it was a mistake. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be getting your medications directly from the team doctors, and they would know what's approved and not approved.
I have not been following this story closely. I love Bobby Portis and what he brings to the Bucs. I hope this is just an oversight or an error, but not for me to say. Brandon Snide has some takes, so if you want to get a more informed take, check out Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Snide.
Sure.
Yeah, all of us know him very well, but he'll go into he'll dip his toe into the conspiracy world on occasion.
He's got one,
and who knows? Maybe he's right. Guys, always love the Friday show. Joe Zepecki, Democratic strategist. Bill McCoshen on the Republican side. Bill, I hope you feel better. Joe, have a great weekend. Bill, have a great weekend. Do what you got to do. Drink a lot of cough syrup or whatever you got. Real quick.
We get to talk more when you're not here. I think people really liked last Friday's show.
Okay, that hurts my feelings.
That's hurtful.
Weigh in, text line.
Oh my God, what a thing to say to me. I was feeling so good about the show, and now Joe. I hear you, Joe. Trust me. I see the text line. I know people love both you guys. Thanks as always. Have a great weekend, everybody. We have local news with Connie Weber, and of course the Upswing with Jeff Sherman, all coming up next, right here on 620 WTMJ. Have a great weekend.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. So I was looking at some of the bushes that have overgrown on my property, and I love our yard, but I need dormant pruning. That's what takes place